Hello, viewers. Welcome back to This Week in Canada. As always, my name is Roberto Waco Cruz. Nothing's changed. Nico Johnson, my co-host, is not here with us. He is somewhere in a library again. Nico, say hello.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here. You know, the last episode went so well, and I'm really glad to be back.
It's episode 15, and Nico's lying. Last week's episode was our really poorly viewed. Did not get many views at all.
Sorry, I didn't realize you guys didn't like talking about John A. Macdonald.
I think,
whatever.
you know what I think? Here's a conspiracy theory. I'm very conspiratorial, right? As you probably know, Nico.
Yeah.
I think because we were talking about John A. Macdonald, this is not too out there, that YouTube just said, no. See you later, because I tried to find the video later, and if you don't know, fellow viewers, John A. Macdonald got just pwned in Montreal, a statue of him torn down.
Yeah.
And
literally
I think decapitated, not intentional. They just tore it down, and the head happened to fall off, which was actually kind of impressive, but not.
They should all go to jail.
They should all go to jail. But I think YouTube said, "Not so fast, there, youngins." That's not good for, that's not good for, I don't know. I have some sort of conspiracy about this.
Well, it's been proven that these big internet companies, these big sort of social networking companies like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter do in fact shadow ban. I think that's almost been proven. Yeah. And it's usually towards conservative issues, because the people who use those platforms the most are young people who find those issues controversial. Yeah. And they don't want controversy, they just want to make money. They just want to collect all your information. So they don't have time for John A. Macdonald.
Right, exactly. And because we're technically not a trusted source per YouTube, I don't know if you ever try to find a clip of Trudeau talking or anything like that, but every time you go to find a clip, it's always through the same channels that come up. Like if you try to find a clip from a press conference, it's always CTV, CBC, Global, and it's always their take on the event. It's always some pundit telling you what happened instead of just being able to watch the clip. So maybe we shouldn't, I know we're on YouTube, maybe we shouldn't be too vocal about this, but
come on, Susan Wojcicki, come on. Give us our fair day in court.
Yeah, we had one video do poorly and now we're mad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a pretty big show. A few big things happened this week, which is great. I'm not going to say I was happy that these things happened, but it certainly was pretty interesting. Namely, what we're going to talk about first is something we haven't talked about in a couple weeks, I think, and that is the WE Charity. Remember that old charity? Here, it's back. It's ready. It's bigger than ever.
This is wonderful. Not. I think there's almost some cosmic justice to this. This is out of our hands. This is God giving us some eternal closure on life, really. So obviously we had the whole WE scandal fiasco, and it seems to me, and I think this almost proves it, that we had a company, or WE was a company, which didn't have much money, which was struggling during the pandemic, and what they did essentially was go to their friends, who happened to all be in the Liberal cabinet, and ask them for a deal, $912 million to be precise, which would help the company get through this scandal, or not all this economic downturn. Now, obviously, the scandal happened. It was pretty obvious that it was corrupt. And the consequence of it is, because they didn't get this money, they're now bust, aside from foreign partnerships, whatever they're doing. And the Kielburgers, thank God, because they are really nefarious. There's something about them which I can't quite place, which I just totally hate.
Yeah.
They have resigned from the charity. And it seems to me, just from the conversations, particularly Canadaland reporting, that the real rot in that organization comes from the Kielburgers.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Kids. Yeah.
It's good. I don't like when bad things happen to people, but I'm generally not that upset about this.
Unless it's the Kielburgers.
Unless it's the Kielburgers. I watched a clip from an interview that's going to be airing later on of the Kielburgers. I think it was with maybe it was Mark Solomon. No, it was a woman. So it was on a woman on CTV. I think they're going to be airing it afterwards. But basically, he was saying, do you have any regrets about this? And his answer, I'm going to boil it down to, politics is a mean game, and we were naive, but the intention was always to help the children. And it's just like, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up, you know? Like, that
Yeah.
just sounds like a crock. You know what you did.
Everyone knows that's bullshit.
Everyone knows
out
that's a
there
lie. Bardish Chagger knows it's a lie. You know it's a lie. You're just lying just because you're not under oath anymore. You lied under oath. You suck, right? So I'm glad you're. Well, I'm not glad. Maybe there is one kid out there that this would change their life forever and make them a good person, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
And even then, I'd be willing to trade that for the end of your charity.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I'm prepared not to have books from teenage girls who happen to be the daughters of, the finance minister, if that means the WE Charity is going to go down.
Yeah.
But, I think they did play a dangerous game. You could tell they knew what they're doing. They were intensely well connected.
Yeah.
They've used their Me to We forum as a way to get well connected over the years. And when it came time to use it, and use it in a major way that would help their company, it was done in such a manner that it was overt to the Canadian public and every journalist in this country that there was something dodgy going on. And the more you looked into it, I remember Pierre Poilievre tweeting sort of 2 days after it was announced, because there was immediate backlash to it. It was like, well, why couldn't the civil service do this? Poilievre tweeted, the Liberal Party would do well to drop this WE stuff now, because this could turn into something really, really serious. And by God, he was right, as per usual. And it's really revealed, I think, something quite dark about Canadian political society, where there is just various insider organizations and certain people who are extremely well connected, and then they get better deals, they get more money from the government, and it doesn't really matter what they do or how well they do it just because they're well connected. And I think that happens to some extent in every government, and even in democracy it happens, but it's got out of order under the Liberal Party. And it's because if you look at the Liberal ministers, the people who compose the Liberal Party, most of them are there because of connections they have utilised earlier in their life to get to where they are. So I don't think they think it's unusual.
Right.
But, I don't know what the consequences of this will be. Obviously, for WE, they've been rejected. Hello.
No, I have a point. Continue.
Oh, right. Is that how you announce your point?
I just remembered something. No, sorry to interrupt. Go.
Yeah, no, of course. So, we obviously know the consequences for WE, and they played a dangerous game, and they got pwned, as you said. For the Liberals, we've already had one ministerial resignation. I think Bardish Chagger, it would be absurd if Bardish Chagger doesn't resign.
Another one coming, yeah, probably.
Yeah. And on top of that, we're going to have an election where the Conservatives have a pretty good chance of winning. And
Decent.
if the Liberals are voted out here, at least we set a precedent which says, no, we will not accept this form of corruption. It's unacceptable. But we'll see.
We'll see. Voters don't seem to, Canadian public has a pretty short memory. But something that I did want to mention, because you mentioned Pierre Poilievre, that's why I did that thing with my finger, Pierre Poilievre tweeted like something along the lines of, this isn't over, you can run but you can't hide. Something like kind of menacing like that. And that's actually a good point. He said the committees will continue. There will be results for this, and just because the WE Charity is not there anymore doesn't mean that the investigation's done. It doesn't mean that because basically what that would mean is Justin Trudeau's proroguing of Parliament and all these committees basically worked if they don't follow up on this, right? So Poilievre Finance Committee needs to hit hard, figure out, just get to the bottom of it. I'm sure there's a nice fucking find there, pardon my language, a nice find there, like a red hand, a smoking gun that would just be inevitable. I'm sure it exists. I don't know what it is.
And I've been totally bemused by the Liberal strategy in dealing with the WE scandal. And there's a danger here, and I know they're going to have a throne speech which will flood the committees with other topics which I have to deal through, but eventually they're going to get round to it. And if it keeps being delayed and the news story keeps going on and pressure is applied to them for a significant amount of time, they're in danger that the bad news simply won't stop.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why on the first day, or when the scandal began to emerge and it went beyond just, why the hell are we giving this charity all this money? when actually, oh shit, they had personal connections. Why the government didn't just dump all the information in one day and gave it to journalists to deal with.
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, we've had this slow, elongated, this slow drip. It's like losing blood over the course of a night, and it's been so damaging. I don't know whether they can recover. I think Justin Trudeau's image has been irreparably damaged.
Well, yeah,
and
I
the only
think
person who hasn't been tarnished is Chrystia Freeland. And God say, if she ever fucking becomes prime minister, ugh.
yeah, it won't be fun, at least listening to her voice. And her policies, I mean, I don't know how she's going to do as a finance minister, but I certainly know she probably likes to spend. It seems like they've already gotten the spending going in a few of the funds that they announced in the last week. Really quickly, though, I did just want to say something about if an election comes in the fall. I just wanted to get your thoughts really quickly on Justin Trudeau when he was asked if there was any intent for an election in the fall. He said, no, we do not have any intent for an election in the fall. We're going to put forward a throne speech, and we hope for the cooperation of opposition parties and all. Basically, what it sounds like is, to me, here's what I think. I think the throne speech is going to suck. No one's going to like it. And then people are going to be calling for an election, and then he's going to be like, I never wanted this. You know what I mean? I think that could totally happen.
Exactly.
And really quickly, a poll they did recently, I actually don't remember the exact number, but I believe a majority of Canadians are actually comfortable with an election during a pandemic. They would be happy to vote.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, so political parties in recent Canadian history have done exceedingly well when they blame an election on someone else. So the Conservatives, I think it was the second Harper majority, or there's no second Harper government, they blamed the election on the Liberal Party. People don't like elections. Perhaps they're open to having one in the pandemic, but no one, aside from politicos, and even they hate it because it's so much work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I think both parties, both the Conservatives and the Liberals, are competing to blame the election on the other side.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it does sound like that. And I think it would be Justin Trudeau would have a really nice card up his sleeve if an election does get called and he goes, oh, there's a pandemic and the Conservatives want to have an election because they hate gay people or whatever. And it's just like, here we go again, just classic. Fantastic transition. Sorry, I forgot how to use words. Anyhow, thank you for watching This Week in Canada. This has been episode 15. It was a bit of a shorter one, but that was really the main topic of the week.
We got to the meat.
Yeah, we got to the meat.
Yeah, skip the bones.
No bones, just no gristle, just the meat. So, there was the meat for the week. That was meat from Bobby and Nico. Leave us a like. Leave us a comment. Give us a subscription if you haven't already.
And let us know whose meat you prefer. Who contributed the best meat to this discussion?
Yeah, whose meat was best?
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not gonna ask for likes or anything. My mustache is already growing back. I feel like I'm gonna be fine. Everything's all right at home. I'm happy. Otherwise, Nico is eventually leaving us. We don't know when.
I don't know when. It's very, very scary. But we're figuring it out, and I'll let you guys know what I end up doing because I really don't right now. So lots of fun.
Lots of fun. So we hope to see Nico next week. I will be here. I am an anchor. I'm reliable, and I'm the heart of this show. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Okay, anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.